Fight the Beast, help for sexual addiction. So I saw a meme about this on Telegram and somebody also sent it to me on Twitter. Okay, Heather Nielsen, porn recovery expert. She sells programs for quitting porn. A lot of times with women, it's not their porn addiction. It's like their husband or their ex-husband. I don't know if that's the story, but I've seen channels from women that are like dedicated to being anti-porn, and it's because they were married to a porn addict. So 9 days ago, from porn recovery coach to OnlyFans, what broke me? How does creating an OnlyFans help men? Why I left religion, my new religion. So she was a Christian. Here's something really interesting I noticed too when I was looking at this. So she took like 9 months off of making videos, or like a year plus whatever. So this was a year ago. She took many months off. She comes back. I'm back. She makes a couple of videos. And then 1 month ago, why I ended 6 years of celibacy. And then a couple weeks so she was celibate for 6 years. I was thinking maybe this was like, when I saw the meme in that, I thought, well, maybe it's like a troll. She made an OnlyFans, but her OnlyFans is just her telling people to quit porn. Like, it's not actually porn. But no, it doesn't appear to be that way. Because when I looked at the website here, man ready to quit, woman ready to quit, teen parent partner, and then spicy, not interested in, or if you're not interested in recovery, and you want to explore conscious sexuality, join my OnlyFans. This is crazy. Okay, let's start with an older video. Let's start with dealing with negative thoughts around porn addiction.
This week we're talking about recurring negative thoughts. Recurring negative thoughts, or RNTs, are basically those thoughts that batter your mind all day long. Those negative thoughts, insecurity, pain, memories, experiences that you've had, or fears and doubts that you have for the future. Basically, these thoughts are the product of the second law of thermodynamics, which essentially says that without added input, without careful input, everything turns to disorder and chaos, including your mind. Essentially, your mind, if you are not carefully thinking positive, motivational, productive thoughts, will deteriorate into the random and negative. So how can you overcome these recurring negative thoughts? Well, we have a couple different steps to this process. The first step to the process is to identify what negative thoughts are holding you back, what's affecting you emotionally. Now, that's not to say that every negative thought is a negative thought. You know, some are.
Okay, I agree with basically everything she said there. Obviously, it's not really the second law of thermodynamics, but that as an analogy, sure. How to quit porn, no fap challenge.
Are you struggling to quit looking at porn, or perhaps some other sexual addiction? If so, you're in the right place. My name is Heather, and I'm founder of Fight the Beast, an online addiction recovery program and support network. Now, I understand you might feel uncomfortable or even ashamed, but I want to congratulate you for taking the first steps towards recovery.
Intrusive thoughts.
What this says to me is that you've identified a problem that's negatively affecting your life, and you're ready.
That's a good one. Somebody should use that for something. That could be a Twitter handle. That could be a band name.
To do something about it, which I think is awesome.
YouTube
Studies
channel.
show 98% of men and 60% of women are affected by porn or sexual addiction, but only a few take action to get freedom. So again, congratulations. I respect you for being here today, and I'm excited to help you. Now, you probably have some questions and maybe some concerns too, and I'm here to help answer those as we guide you through this journey. Even if everything else you've tried in the past has failed, we can help, just as we've helped thousands of others. Full recovery is not only possible, but it's proven.
It's just an ad. I'm a big believer in trying to do a 30-day no fap, by the way. If you're somebody who doesn't feel like it's wrong to jerk off, and so you don't want to quit, you should do 30 days just to prove that you can, because what you're going to find is that it's hard. And then you're going to ask yourself, why can't I just not do this if I don't want to? Or she has a 1 million view from 2 years ago. The benefits of jerking off, if you didn't know. Is this going to be about prostate cancer? What is this?
So recently I found out about the benefits of jerking off every day, as much as you possibly can. First of all, you'll be doing it solo, and you'll feel so low, you won't have the motivation to meet
snap.
real people. And that's scary. Number 2, after a few hours, you'll have the impulsive urge to do it again. It just keeps coming back, and every time you do it, you get brain fog to remind you it's time to do it again.
Can porn make you gay? The truth may surprise you. All right, here's what we're all here for. From porn recovery coach to OnlyFans, what broke me?
I'm honestly so scared of making this video, and I will cry. Not because I think that I'm in the wrong, but most of you won't understand. As the title of this video said, after 5 years of teaching porn and sexual addiction
Congrats, DS88. That's awesome.
recovery, I created and launched an OnlyFans. That decision has hurt a lot of people tremendously. People have told me that they had panic attacks, that they've cried, that they felt sick, that they were shaking, and I feel terrible about that. But I need you to trust me in a way. Understand that this decision was made very, very carefully. Understand that I have my reasons for what I did. And even if you don't...
I wanted more money. I wasn't making enough money. Guys, I have a perfectly good reason. I am greedy. I conquered my lust only to succumb to my greed.
fully understand, just hear me out. I'm also a little emotional because it's the ending of an era, a beautiful era, something that I poured my heart and soul into. You guys haven't seen how much work and dedication and love I've put into my business, how many 4 a.m. nights I spent writing, creating content.
I'm not leaving recovery work. I'm still going to do that. I'm just going to moonlight as a literal fucking porn whore. It's so
how much
crazy.
time I've taken away from family,
This is the most
how much I've
neurotic
personally sacrificed
femoid
for
shit
this,
I've
how
ever
much-
seen.
Just how much has gone into it. I literally gave my life to this cause. I've given away countless free hours of coaching, free advice, free courses, because I truly deeply cared and wanted to change the world, and I did it in the best possible method and way that I knew how. And it was beautiful, and I am proud of it. But the truth is, I learned things that I can't unlearn. I've seen things that I can't unsee. And at the end of the day, there are things that need to change. My ego wanted that method to work. My ego wanted innocence and idealism to win. But the last 5 years have changed me, and the first rule of survival is
If
adaptability.
you watch porn, you're owned by Jews, okay? Watching porn is the most submissive to Jewish thing you can do. There's nothing you can do that says I deserve to be controlled by Jews more than loading up a porn video. I just want you to know that. I want you to think about that every single time.
We are in a new world, and we are playing new games. And if I want to truly help people heal in a world gone crazy, I have to be willing to change. So in this video, I'm going to tell you everything that I learned and everything that made me make this switch. And I'll even give you a little bit of a preview into what's coming next. I'm excited. I'm happy for the change. This is scary telling you guys about this. As I said before, I've spent months thinking about this. In this video, I'm probably going to go through about 40 reasons why I made this decision. So bear with me and I'll try to get through them. That way you have a complete and well-rounded perspective of what broke, why I changed, and where this is going. So let's get into it. The first one is that the porn industry simply isn't going away. We can't go back in time. There's no getting rid of this. We can only learn to adapt. Most people have already had their brains significantly rewired through multiple partners,
Appeal to futility.
a lot of porn consumption,
And also non sequitur. Like, yeah, even if porn isn't going away, that doesn't mean you have to participate. In fact, you don't have to. You don't have to participate at all in the porn industry. You can completely forego the entire thing.
and there's just no going back. It would be great if we were all virgins when we married our high school sweethearts or our first college boyfriend, girlfriend, and we lived happily ever after, but that's just not the case anymore. And in order for a recovery program to truly work, it has to embrace that fact. The guilt and the shame, that's what ruins them. We need
Hold on, pause this. She also stopped being a Christian, which is not obviously not like a coincidence. You know what I mean? A lot of the reason people leave the church is as a cope because they want to sin. Oh, why is it so quiet?
Spiritual leader. I guess when I started my organization and I decided that it was going to be a non-religious organization, I didn't realize that
A literal fall from grace. She was the beast the entire time. Dude, I have it turned up as loud as it goes. This is like unwatchable. Embrace the beast. At least she's getting cooked in the comments.
Feel guilt and that it's okay. That actually helps you become at peace with where you've been rather than just shaming you that it was bad and teaching you self-discipline. A lot of people need to be rewired back to something natural, and that's a hard truth. People are watching some crazy stuff nowadays. We're watching furries. We're watching just insane, violent, crazy stuff online. AI stuff. I mean, the technology side of this is just going bonkers. And I think a lot of people actually need rewiring back to something natural, something safe, something healthy. And while I could keep going and just shaming people into like, stop all of it and just be normal, it wasn't working. People need a guide to help them get back to something healthier before they can quit altogether and find a partner. So that being said, standard recovery methods simply don't work for most men. So we're going to work with what we've got and we're going to make it better, but we can't get in a time machine. Simple reality is more than 60% of men don't want to quit this addiction. A small percentage, like 30 to 40% would like to reduce their use. And some men feel guilty, but they really just want to get rid of their guilt. They don't actually want to quit. So if you're watching...
60% of heroin addicts don't want to quit heroin. And so I've decided to become a dealer. I've decided to start selling heroin because, I have good quality control. She wanted money. You're not going to convince me. Also, I think if I was going to psychoanalyze it a little bit beyond, she just wanted the money, and she knew she had like a following of like guys who have been watching her videos. Guys have been watching her videos who struggle with porn addiction. She's cute, so she's like, if I make a porn, all these guys are going to instantly sign up. They've already been like jerking off thinking about me. Like, I'm just going to make a bunch of money easy as soon as I put this up. This would be an interesting video. I don't have time to sit here and watch like hours of this woman's shit, but I do think her like ending her celibacy maybe rewired her brain and made her go kind of crazy.
This video and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe she's doing this horrible thing. Don't go to that page. Don't participate in the things that I'm teaching. That's okay. You go back to your abstinence streak. But if you aren't on an abstinence streak, maybe there's a reason, and maybe I have truths to teach you. Just maybe. Don't shame me for what I'm doing. If you don't like it, don't participate. But don't make me the villain. Next, maybe as a female, I was never meant to lead men. I accept that. It's been an uphill battle as a business. It's been an uphill battle for me personally.
Right. So based and true, you're not meant to lead men as a female. If you're trying to quit gooning, why would you go to an attractive woman and be like, she's going to help me stop jerking off? I'm just going to watch her videos every day. And it's the whole idea is bad, but very telling. She said it's been an uphill battle as a business. I believe that. Obviously, the YouTube channel itself isn't that big. So she couldn't, I don't know how many courses she was selling. I saw somebody in the chat saying it's probably true. She was probably getting messages from dudes being like, if you made an OnlyFans, I'll pay you like hundreds of dollars a month or whatever.
Everyone always asks, how often do your clients fall for you? How often do they develop emotional attachments? Too often. Okay, that's the honest answer. I didn't want to face it before. I didn't want to accept it. We all knew it was true from the very beginning. It's painful. It makes me sad. I wish I was a dude. I wish I had a dude's face. I don't. I'm sorry. I never will. That being said, in some ways, I'm going to focus on what I can do as a woman in recovery coaching. I'm ready to fully embrace my own sexuality in front of all of you guys. Yes, I am a sexual woman. Hello. Okay, you think I'm pretty cool. That's fine. We can all be at peace with it, and then we can move on and be logical about our sexuality and make good, rational, healthy choices.
I have some logical ideas for good, rational, healthy. Why don't you go find a husband? Okay, go find a man, marry him, have a family, and keep your sexuality private and between you and your husband. That sounds kind of good and healthy to me. Or you could charge people money to see your butthole on the internet.
I had to come to terms with that, and I think anyone who works with me or joins either side of this program should also be able to come to terms.
Does being married make it? I mean, I think obviously it's easier if you're married. There's, first of all, you're not going through big dry spells of non-intimacy, and second of all, you're probably going to feel even more shame and guilt if you do that stuff. So I mean, I think obviously it helps. Yeah.
With that, I've spent the last 5 years pretty debilitatingly afraid of the fact that I would be sexual.
Just try not to use that as an excuse. I don't like the I'll quit when I'm married. I'll stop watching porn after I get married. Like, will you? If you can stop after you're married, you can stop now. Food for thought, something to think about. If you can't stop now, if you've tried and you've struggled, what makes you think you can stop when you're married? My advice is to get it under wraps now.
And now I'm just saying, all right, to heck
Get
with
ahead
it.
of the game.
I don't care. It's fine. The next one is that I have worked with all religions, and there's just things that I can't unsee. People who are religious have stronger addictions. And that's because the number one thing that fuels porn addiction is not beautiful women.
You know, when you start building a business, you expect it to start off slow, but you're like, if I work at this, I'll make lots of money down the road or whatever. And I just think she never really got where she was hoping to go. And that probably is like really just the biggest piece of the puzzle right there. She's just like wants more money.
Well, it's actually just guilt and shame. Guilt and shame is
right. So why people are addicted to porn is guilt and shame. I actually really disagree with this. I don't know. As somebody who feels a good amount of guilt and shame if he jerks off, the idea that is what makes me want to jerk off is that's like a weird porn brain take. This is like what progressives say. This is what sex positive therapists say. Is like, oh, the reason you goon so much is because you have a sense of shame. There's no studies that exist that show that shame has like a negative effect, right? Like there's no studies where they've like looked at outcomes of people who masturbate versus people who don't, or people who feel shame versus people who don't. That doesn't exist anywhere. And there's definitely no evidence that can link the shame to that it's like harder to quit or anything like that.
Porn addiction is not beautiful women. Is not the need for something novel. It's actually just guilt and shame.
That's
guilt and
stupid
shame is the beast. I didn't realize that when I started this organization. I thought it was our conscience and God and biology and technology.
The shame
it's not
and
good
guilt
for you.
is God.
It's bad for your brain. No, it's literally just guilt and shame. I knew this early on when I started Fight the Beast. I decided that I didn't want it to be a religious.
She just became a progressive. She just decided that guilt and shame are social constructs that are enforced on you by society, and that they like if you just stop having shame, then it's no longer wrong what you're doing. Apply that to anything else. Apply that to literally anything else. Oh, murder? No, man. The reason you don't want to commit murder is just a sense of guilt and shame. That's just your bullshit conscious, man, that society brainwashed you into having. This only gets applied to sexual deviancy, really. The idea that like guilt and shame are these bad social constructs that you just need to ignore and then everything's fine. That only gets applied to sexual deviancy and literally nothing else.
Program, because I saw that religious and 12-step programs were less effective, so I made my program non-religious, but its root was still the same.
I don't know about that. Isn't AA is religious, and it's kind of like the most of maybe that's true. I have no idea.
This is bad for you, which led to
kind
guilt.
Of dubious though. Influence of religiosity on 12-step participation. Religious practices among adults are associated with more 12-step participation, which in turn is linked to better treatment outcomes. Findings extend the evidence for the protective effects of lifetime religious behaviors to an improved treatment response among adolescents and provide preliminary support for the 12-step proposition that helping others in recovery may lead to better outcomes. Youth with low or no lifetime religious practices may assimilate less well. So this is the exact opposite of what she's saying. It's literally the exact opposite. Maybe you can find contradicting studies, but it's a dubious, It doesn't sound right. It sounds counterintuitive when you say religion doesn't help you quit gooning. So I'd take that with a grain of salt.
And shame when people relapse. They felt weak. I am now removing all guilt and shame literally by putting myself on the chopping block to say, hey, I'm not going to show up guilty or ashamed. I don't want you to show up guilty or ashamed anymore either. We are all going to embrace our biology in this program moving forward. I'm okay with my biology.
We're going to embrace our biology. It's not about what you want. It's not a question of like a choice. It's not supposed to be a choice. God gave you a conscience for a reason.
I'm okay with my own sexual power. You should be okay with your own biology and your own feelings of lust and desire. They're okay. Okay? I'm tired of making people feel bad about that. I've been making that change for a few months now, but I'm making it more seriously now. The next problem.
And now you can buy my porn. Like it's such a crazy extreme. Like even if you agreed with what she's saying, which I don't at all. I don't agree at all with what she's saying. Lust is definitely a problem. I've seen so many people have their lives ruined because they couldn't control their lust. Even from a purely pragmatic viewpoint.
Is that men who
Just
recover
marriages destroyed.
often feel pretty lost. Like the dating pool
Careers.
sucks, and I get that. And just because you quit porn does not mean you're going to find a partner. And even though I've helped a lot of men reach 30 days clean, 6 months clean, a year clean, they often come back and ask the question, now what? I never get to see any feminine beauty ever again. Like I never get sex ever again. And honestly, it really hurts my heart. And I think you can only look into the eyes of about 1,000 men who are emotionally hurting, whose wives.
Just remember that for 10,000 years of human history, for the vast majority of human history, people did not have access to hardcore graphic internet pornography, and men just lived their lives. You know what I mean? Oh, if you don't get to see naked women getting railed by other dudes, what a tragedy. It's literally going to bring me to tears that you should be denied that. Like, you shouldn't even have access to that to begin with, bro. That shouldn't even be on the table.
Are withholding,
she has
who are
kids.
in situations where they can't date
Bruh.
before you understand and you have compassion. And I think that compassion, you guys can call it sin. You can be like, oh man, she's going to the dark side. No, like it hurts to look into that many men's eyes, to know that they're hurting. And I've gotten off calls and just wanted to cry because I tried to be strong on the call and I was like, no, keep going. Like, don't do anything. Like, you got this. And just knowing that, like, they're dying inside because their biology, their soul, their spirit craves that feminine beauty, craves that feminine love, and there's no one to give it to them. Something that's supposed to lift you up. And in a way, I could be completely wrong about this experiment, but I want to help people get back to that.
Yeah, so the screenshots
That's what I want.
have been
I
going
want
viral.
people to get back to the idea of
Guiding
sharing
mouses
in that
into
act
the
with
mousetrap.
somebody that you honor
The
and
worst
respect.
person I've ever
Not
seen.
somebody that's dehumanizing. And just,
Oh, stop lying. It's because you want money. The social media to prostitution pipeline is crazy. The comments are very white pilling. My AA leader runs a homemade brewery. She makes the best beer. Going from rehabbing addicts to selling them drugs and exploiting weakness for your own personal gain. Are you a bad person because of this? Probably. The fact you built your channel helping people overcome a strong addiction and then you feed them that very same addiction is disgusting. You should be ashamed. Hey, what up, family? I'm a ding dong. It is I, your boy LP, and the clip you just watched is from my live stream show, The Daily Cope, which I do 4 to 5 times a week on Rumble, Odyssey, and my other YouTube channel. I will link all of them below if you want to check it out. And thanks for watching. Hope you're having a great day, and I will catch you on the flip side. Peace out.